Our first testimony, our first speaker is Mrs. Tabitha Mugenzi. She's a Rwandan born. She was born in Rwanda in the Western Province. She left her beloved country to attend school in Niles, Michigan in 1989. While it was believed that school was her primary intention to leave Rwanda, there was another very important reason for her going abroad: survival. Tabitha and her family, like all the other Tutsis, were condemned to discrimination, oppression, and bad treatment simply because of who they were and where they originated from. Hope for her was to be found only outside the country. When the genocide took place, Tabitha was in Canada, where she lives with her husband and children. She may have survived the apparent physical torture of the genocide, but the emotional wounds continue to haunt her. Her testimony is a journey she has been on and continues to live, to tell. Please welcome Tabitha.
I am humbled and very thankful by the opportunity given to me to be able to share my testimony today. It was not my initiative to leave my country, Rwanda. It was not. 1989, my sister, her husband, and one of my brothers came to me, told me that I have to leave. And this is what they said: "Listen, Tabitha, you have to go." I said, "Go where?" US, Michigan, to continue your studies because there is no future in this country. You have no future. I said, no, I am not going anywhere. I said, look, I don't know anybody there. Never lived away from you guys. And I'm so young to live on my own. I can't survive. I cannot survive. But you know, I realized that they were so serious about it. But before I said no to them, I did not think how much in school I was discriminated. I did not think how many times God had protected my parents when they tried to kill them. I did not think how much pain my family went through in 1962 when they killed my 3 uncles at the same time, even though I was not born yet, but I was told. I did not think how much my family was trying to protect me against people I went to school with, people I went to church with, people, my sisters, my brothers, my uncles, aunties were married to, people who were my friends. These are the same people that killed my people. Thank you. Beginning of October 1990, someone called me from Kenya, Africa, and he said, Tabitha, things are getting bad in Rwanda. There is a war going on there. Your sister, Adeline, is in danger. You have to pray, and pray, and pray, more than ever before. I don't know more details. That's all I know. Hang up the phone. The sister he was talking about is the sister who told me to leave the country. I didn't know what to do. I tried to call my sister, no answer. My brothers, no answer. Everybody I knew, no answer. I was desperate. As desperate as I was, I went to work. There is a gentleman, he used to work with me. He was Rwandese. He came from Rwanda. He was a Hutu. That day, he was smiling, happier more than ever. He came to me. He said, I am so proud. I am so proud today. I am so proud of my country, my people. I am so proud of my president. You have no idea how they killed your sister. I love it. He continued, cut her in pieces. The government continued. The government told everybody that whoever is going to see her, kill her. And that person is going to get the prize. You see, her husband was lucky. He was out of Rwanda. But we all know that they deserve it because they are part of those cockroaches came from Uganda. They came in by force. I felt like I was going to explode. I tried not to cry in his face, but I couldn't help it. I said, you are disgusting. I will never talk to you again. You see, I couldn't finish my shift. I had to go home. 2 days later, we heard more news that US immigration was looking for us. Only Tutsis who were attending SMC, Southwestern Michigan College, the Rwandan embassy here in Washington, D.C. at that time, told the immigration that we were all drug dealers. After they put one of us in jail, we decided to stop going to school, to work, also stay away from our apartments. Every day we woke up early in the morning, go anywhere. We didn't have anywhere to go, just go. Came back very late at night. We did this for almost 2 weeks. Meanwhile, we talked to immigration lawyers. Some of us decided to apply political asylum in the United States, and some of us decided to go to Canada. Simply because we were Tutsi. Continue with my family story. In the same year, November 1990, my brother Simeon called me from Kenya. He went there before that October for work, and he was glad he was not in Rwanda because they went to look for him. He was the one who told me the whole story about my family. He said to me, your sister is still alive, miraculously. She's still alive. She tried to escape, but she had no chance. Then she decided to go to Pastor Stafford's house. Pastor Stafford and his wife were American couple who went to Africa in Burundi 1993 before 1973 as a missionaries for Seventh-day Adventist Church. They meet with my two brothers and that sister in Burundi when they went there in 1973 as refugees. When Pastor Stafford saw my sister, he couldn't believe it. He said, "You're still alive." Oh, we thank God. Where is everybody? Your parents, brothers, sisters, where is everybody? He went, brought my two brothers, my sister-in-law, Simeon's wife, and two children, including my sister with her 4 children. They stayed there in Stafford's house for the whole month of October. One morning, Pastor Stafford and his wife were doing everything for them, trying to hide them as much as they can, make sure everything was closed so that nobody can see them from outside, the windows, doors, curtains, everything. One morning, Pastor Stafford's night guard, who were a Tutsi, he came to him and told him, "Pastor, one of our neighbors, night guard, knows that you have a people in your house. They were talking about it all night. And one of them is ready to go to tell the police." Pastor was furious. But my sister said to him, "Pastor, I will do anything to leave this house before I put you in trouble." She decided to call the embassies, the different embassies of different countries in Rwanda. First embassy, they couldn't believe she was still alive. They couldn't believe, "You're still alive. My goodness. But sorry, we cannot help you because we don't want any trouble between us and the Rwandan government." Second embassy, same thing. Third embassy, no difference. Fourth embassy, which was Burundi's, ambassador said, "I cannot believe you're still alive. It is a miracle. We heard so much about you. Listen, I will do anything to help you. We have no time to waste. I will send you a car tonight. This type of car, this driver, this time, and this place. Please be there on time. Dress up like a very poor person. If you can, don't even wear shoes. Cover your face as much as you can. I don't want anybody to recognize you." They did it. And the mission accomplished. My sister was able to leave Rwanda, go to Burundi. But how she made it to Burundi is in itself another miracle for another day. The next day, Pastor Stafford was called by the police. He went there and they asked him so many questions, like, "Do you have any cockroaches in your house?" "No, sir, I don't have any cockroaches, but I have some people in my house." "Is it this woman in your house?" They were talking about my sister. "No, sir, but she was." "Where is she now?" "I don't know, sir." "Who did she go with?" "I have no idea." Listen to me very carefully. Because of what you did, you even not telling me the truth. Right now, you have to leave the country immediately. We give you 48 hours. That's it. Go pack your things, no negotiation, and leave. Pastor Stafford went back home, told everybody the bad news, and they started packing immediately. The next day, the government soldiers went to Pastor Stafford's house. One of my brothers, my sister-in-law, and children were still there. My brother was beaten and left him to die in prison. Pastor Stafford was begging them not to kill him. Of course, did not listen to him, didn't even care about it. The Pastor Stafford was trying to take pictures of my brother's blood because it was all over the places so that he can take those pictures outside of Rwanda to show the whole world what was going inside of Rwanda. But they didn't let him do it. The same soldiers went to look for my parents, even though my father was in the hospital suffering from diabetes. But they did not care. They took my mother, put basket full of guns on her head, made her walk the street of Kigali as evidence that she was a part of people that supported RPF. Imagine an old woman being made to carry the heavy basket through the hills of Kigali. She was further humiliated by being beaten and beaten, and imprisoned falsely. My mother lost the use of her both arms ever since that time. During this time, my brothers, including my youngest one who were in high school, my mother, my sister-in-law, they were in jail. My father was in the hospital, even though he was transferred from hospital to the prison. The only crime was that they were Tutsi. My father and my one of brothers died because of the way they had been treated in the prison. This was not 1994. It was 1990. But that was a foretaste of what would come in 1994. It seems like just yesterday, April 6, 1994, I was laying down and taking a nap. I heard that president's plane had been shot, and that President Juvenal Habyarimana was killed. It seemed like it was good news to me, since I believed that would mark the end of the war. Instead, it would be the beginning of a nightmare that would haunt me for the rest of my life. I got up. I looked for someone to share that good news, but no one was there. In Windsor, where we live right now, the majority of Rwandan refugee claimants lived in the same building. At that time, everybody was at one apartment, second floor. I went there to share good news with them. The gentleman came to open the door for me. But he was desperate. He was not happy. I thought everybody's supposed to be happy because of the news. The gentleman who came, I went in to talk to them, and everybody was there, including my husband. Everybody was not happy. They were like this. I thought maybe they don't know what happened. I told them, did you hear? Yes, we did. It's good news, isn't it? I was happy, and I said, I'm happy about it. What about you guys? And the gentleman who came to open the door, he looked at me, he said, that happiness is not going to last because all Tutsis are going to die. I did not believe it, but he was right. It was not long before we started hearing about what was taking place in Rwanda. I was 6 months pregnant when the killings began in Rwanda, and every moment it seemed like one of us was getting the news that our families were being killed. A young lady named Justin, she was the first to be told that her entire family had been killed, and it happened that Justin's mother was my aunt. She had received a call to let her know of what had happened, and although we all hoped not to hear of our direct family's death, but we were living in the pain of not knowing. We couldn't sleep anymore. I wished I was there. Since I was pregnant, my husband was concerned so much about not only what we were hearing, but also what we were seeing on television. How could this be? How could the whole world stand to watch the horrors that we were witnessing? The bits and pieces of the news we were getting, it was confirmed of all of us that our families were left to die. In the community, we stopped asking each other certain questions. More news came to me that all people from Bisesero village has been killed, even though they fought so much until the last minute. All of them were related to me because my parents were both from Bisesero. My uncles, my aunties, my cousins, all gone. My auntie, my mother's sister, her name was Tasiana Mukanabana, with her husband and 7 children, all gone. My doctor was concerned, since I was not eating and resting well, that he thought of putting me in the hospital. I was so angry at myself. I knew what had happened in 1990s, but that did not prepare me for what I was going through. I wished I was there. I wanted so much to be in Rwanda so that I may die with my family. What was life all about? If people could be killed needlessly, like what I was going through, I wanted to be with my people and die with them. After all, what had I done to deserve to live, since there others had done nothing to deserve to die? I wished I was there. How coincidence that I would give birth on July 4th, 1994. The same day, the genocide against Tutsi in Rwanda would be stopped. The little girl born that morning would be named Singiza, which means, praise God. I thought I was going to lose her because of what I was going through. Her birth would inspire in me the willingness to live again, to have a hope, and to understand that my husband and I would have the awesome responsibility to one day tell our children why they were never to know their grandparents while here on earth. Since July 4th, our country has also fostered hope and self-reliance as means to ensure that there will never be a genocide again against the Tutsi in Rwanda or anywhere else for that matter. Before I finish my story, I would like to share with you something happened to me in 1995. I will never forget as long as I live. My family was trying to hide some details that could hurt me at that time because of my pregnancy. But at the beginning of genocide against Tutsi, I heard that my mother was hidden by a Hutu family friend. So I believed she was still alive and that she had survived after what she went through from 1990s to 1994. She was survived. What a joy. What a joy. I decided to go to Rwanda to see her. I was trying to imagine how I was going to react when I saw her. It was not easy for me to go there at that time, but it was very important for me to go so that I can be able to move on with my life here in North America. I went. Somebody accepted to take me to the village where my parents used to live, and we went. I was so excited, too emotional. Before, when I get to Kigali to see what happened, nobody left. I knew, even though I lived in that city, but nobody came to say hello to me. I was depressed. But because I was going to see my mother, I was so happy. Somebody took me. We went. I was just thinking about it. My goodness, what am I going to say to my mother? How much I love her. How much I appreciate her, what she did. Never had that chance to talk to her about it, but this is my chance. I went. I was right. My mother was still alive. Get there. I saw this woman was wearing the dress, traditional dress, like these beautiful ladies here, wearing them. And I saw her because that traditional dress she was wearing, it was me who bought them for her. I sent it to her. So I saw her. I said, stop, stop. The driver couldn't stop. I said, stop. I saw my mother. I knew it. She's still alive. I knew it. And before he even stopped, I jumped. I ran after my mother. I ran, screaming, Mom, it's me. I'm here. Stop. Wait for me. Ran after her. But the mom was running away from me. I said, stop. Stop. I was not even thinking. I was just running, excited. Then finally I catch her, I hold her, I dress, Mom, it's me. But my mom was saying something, I didn't even hear what she was saying. And the driver was running after me. And I was screaming, happy, crying at the same time. Couldn't believe I saw my mother. What a joy. The driver held me like this, and the other, my mom, both of us. And he told me, Tabitha, wake up. She's not your mother. She's not. Our village, everybody at the village they came to watch, couldn't believe what was happening. And I woke up, I look at the woman, she was not my mother. And I started hearing her. Where did you get my mother's clothes? Where did you get my mother's clothes? Did you kill my mother? I was hearing her. And I lay down. They took me to the hospital. I went back to Kigali. I decided to go back to Canada. No more Rwanda, I said. I'm done. I am done with this country. I'm proud. I'm Rwandese, but I am not going back. If human being can do such things, I am going to be Canadian. I'm done. And I did. Left Rwanda, move on with my life, forget about it. But thank God I went back last year, 2012, with my children for the first time. And I'm glad I did. They did a wonderful job. It's beautiful. After that, I found out that my mother had been killed on May 13th, 1994, along with my eldest brother and his 8 children. I wished I was there. I join my fellow survivors today. For those that were in Rwanda, I say to you, I wished at some point that I would have been there, be here, there in Canada, maybe nothing to what was lived by those in Rwanda, but we also were going through our hell of nightmares, hell of not knowing what was going on daily basis, the hell of trying to remember the last moments that we shared with our families. And the hell of feeling helpless as the world stood to watch
to watch our people perish. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Tabitha Mugenzi, for sharing your story, focusing on what happened before the genocide in '94. For those who know Tabitha personally, we know what kind of person she is. She's usually a happy-go-lucky person, very active. So you can tell how difficult it is to come on stage and open your heart to people. But we respect and appreciate your strength and what you did in sharing your story.